Are in. All right. Welcome everyone. This is another game for the Reddit Dota 2 League.
Absolutely.
This is the first game between Tupac Shaker and Hold
And
Me Close.
hold me closer, Venomancer.
Yeah,
So cute.
and today casting. This is I'm a Bear
And I'm Zigavivi,
and
casting today.
yep, and we're gonna have some fun watching through this. Unfortunately, we won't be able to see the second game of this because the replay is gone forever. So,
I'm so sorry. It's a sad, sad thing.
yeah, I don't know what happened
Any,
to it, but yeah. So,
Anywho, to begin with, we see a typical Batrider and Wisp band. Wisp being one of the stronger supports in the game, being able to have a strong global presence, and Batrider, arguably the strongest mid in the game, being able to shut down almost anyone. So definitely OP heroes. It looks like Nyx is banned next. Why would they ban Nyx, Sandy?
well, of course they would ban Nyx because he is a very strong ganker right now, and he's also just nigh unhittable with his spiked carapace, which, you know, with the added stun afterwards, is just deadly. And then the keeper as well with his ridiculous anti-push, and then great control over the laning phase. Those are some great bans, though we do see Magnus and Darkseer are through the ban stage, so we can expect.
And our first pick is Magnus.
Yeah.
Looks like his reverse polarity ultimate is going to play a big part in this game.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure it's going to decide some team fights.
Yeah, and now I'm thinking we might even see a Rubik come into play at some point for Tupac Shaker if they're thinking about it. Otherwise, we'll see him probably banned out. So.
Absolutely. Rubik, obviously, his deal is he steals things. So if he's able to be out of the clutches of Magnus when Magnus reverse polarities, then Rubik's going to be able to steal it and use it against the other team.
Yeah, which can be a real turnaround for a team fight. So, but yeah, we see Tupac Shaker picking up a Life Stealer and a Darkseer. So that Darkseer will be going in that off lane, and I'm sure we'll be seeing this Life Stealer getting farmed up, getting either an armlet or a Hand of Midas, and serving as Tupac Shaker's carry. So.
Yeah, I find this really interesting. They picked the hard carry so early because Hold Me Closer Venomancer may be able to counter that. Something cool about Lifestealer that's different from other carries is the fact that he has a BKB built in. That means he can have magic immunity at will, more or less. So that is one item that he doesn't necessarily have to build towards and buy.
Yeah, I mean it's basically a free 3,900 gold item. So. That's real nice. And then we're actually going to see a Bane picked up, or a Bane, wow. Bane picked up by Hold Me Closer, so.
Obviously to counter that, because Bane's ult goes through BKBs.
Yes, it does.
Or any magic immunity in general.
And there's also a Warlock picked up. So what I'm expecting to see in any kind of given, and there's a Rubik picked up. So
Naturally.
kind of like I thought. So, but yeah, going back to what Hold Me Closer just picked up, I think what we might see in a team fight is if that Life Stealer does rage, then that Bane's probably going to be right on top of him with the ultimate and allowing Magnus and Warlock to come in afterwards. So I mean
Also,
that seems like what it will play out to be. So
it's important to note that reverse polarity also goes through BKB and magic community, so
Yep.
they technically have two ways to
That
stop
is very
Lifestealer
true.
from doing his work.
Very, very true. So if one of them is not there, the other can handle it. So it should be interesting. But
Warlock is the third pick for Hold Me Closer Venomancer. Obviously, his Fatal Bonds and his ultimates are two of the strongest skills currently. Well, maybe not the strongest.
I'd say of the
That's
supports,
tough to
they're
say.
they're two of
But
the
of
very
supports, yeah.
yeah. He's a great support to pick up, especially if you do send him mid. Getting those levels on him real quick allows that golem to come up even faster. So I mean. It's a good decision if you don't have another mid that you necessarily want to get the levels really quickly, because then you can start the ganking with him a lot quicker, which is always good with him. So.
Now it looks like Hold Me Closer Venomancer have been banning supports. We have Shadow Demon banned as well as Alina.
Yep.
And then Tupac Shaker. Looks like they have banned both a Luna and an Anti-Mage, probably like any hard carries that Hold Me Closer Venomancer may pick.
Oh, yeah.
Nature's Prophet is also banned on Hold Me Closer Venomancer. Obviously his global presence is important, and his team, his push is very important, so they don't want to deal with that. And then Gyrocopter is banned on Tupuck Shaker. Again, one of the harder carry, well, at least a popular carry in
Yeah,
the recent
he
meta.
comes online very quickly, so he's a real great help in the early mid game pushes. So like those tier one fights can be really turned around with a gyrocopter.
10
So,
seconds remaining.
but yeah, we're actually wow, we're gonna see a
Wow.
specter, huh?
I've actually seen this combo in the pro scene. Basically, a Warlock will get Fatal Bonds on the other team, and then Spectre, using Dispersion, is basically giving back 20% of all the damage that comes to her, if I'm not mistaken. It is 22% at max level. So they're basically, the entire enemy team is being reflected 44% of the damage back onto them, if, of course, Fatal Bonds is on all of them. They basically receive 100% of the damage. So that combo alone may win them the game. The only problem is Spectre takes a long time to come online.
Yeah.
Longer than Lifestealer. So unless they have a really strong early game and strong team fights, they may not be able to get to that point.
Yeah, because I mean, right now, Tupuck Shaker. I think I've been saying it
Oh,
wrong. It's
Tupuck
Tupac.
Shaker.
I thought it was
True.
Tupac. Oh well, but it's Tupuck Shaker. Sorry, guys. Yeah, they do have the Life Stealer and they have the Templar Assassin too, who are both really really strong in the mid game if they can get some. Yeah, it looks like Tupuck Shaker is going to be going for sort of more of a mid game strategy right now, whereas Hold Me Closer is probably going to try and hold off at least until the latter part of the mid game to like try to get the Spectre there. It's or his her
Absolutely.
farm. I don't know. Yeah. So
With Venomancer as like an anti-push with his wards.
yeah.
It looks like laning-wise, Warlock is going to be with Venomancer and Spectre bottom, being supports in a tri-lane. Spectre needs that support in a tri-lane, in
Yeah.
order to be effective. It looks like Magnus may go off lane, and then Bane is going to go mid. He's one of the strongest mids because of his disables and his ability to just shut people down.
Yeah, I will say, I wouldn't count out quite yet with the Warlock being in the support lane, just because I've seen Bane play a great support in a tri lane, so we might see that. But I mean, the way you've set it up definitely makes I think the most sense at the moment, though. If they do really want those levels on him, they'll send him with
they'll
that
send him mid.
to mid.
I
Yeah.
definitely agree with that. And Bane could play the support instead.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah, and for Tupuck Shaker, it's a real easy breakdown. They're probably TA's going to be going mid, Lifestealer, Dark Seer, yeah, or no, pardon me, Lifestealer, Rubik, and Leshrac going to the safe lane, and then obviously our Dark Seer playing the hard lane. So
And honestly, the beautiful thing about the Rubik Leshrac combination is you kind of have the I think it's been described as the man-woman-dog setup, where basically Rubik is able to set up the stun for Leshrac.
yeah,
They're able to more or less chain stun someone and be able to kill them with both of their nukes.
yeah, yeah. That we'll probably see that starting to happen once. Seeing the yeah, I don't know what Leshrac's gonna pick up first, but I'll bet we'll probably see him pick up Split Earth if they want to try and pull something off. I don't think they'll do it until maybe level 2, but
Yeah.
I mean that sounds like it'll be a great combo. So
Something I'm kind of worried about coming into this is Tupuck Shaker. They're missing like those big, strong, like large area of effect ultimates in their
yeah,
team fights. I mean, they do have like a counter initiation with Rubik, but that basically causes you to be initiated on for Rubik to be able to steal that.
yeah,
Another point, Darkseer, he's going to be able to create illusions of the enemy team, but still, like, there isn't that like the keystone. There isn't that like piece that is like, yes, this is why we're gonna have a team fight, and this is why we're gonna initiate.
yeah.
And I feel that because of that, HMCV is going to dominate early game.
Yeah, I'm kind of seeing that too because there's really what this kind of relies on is this Rubik being able to have some like to really like either find someone mess up an ult or take an initiation that doesn't necessarily go exactly as planned and steal from that. So I mean, otherwise, I mean, he's probably going to be involved in any initiation that happens, and it's going to be on top of him.
Yeah.
So, will he
Um,
really even have enough time to respond? Is what I worry about. So,
yeah, that's a good question. Honestly, it's going to require impeccable positioning on his
yeah.
account.
So that'll be something we definitely want to keep an eye out for. So, yeah,
I mean, but say, like, he is able to steal Magnus's reverse polarity and is able to use it against them. We have Leshrac who can wade in with both of his, like, damage over times. That will basically just melt the entire enemy team. The entire enemy team is mostly composed of super squishy heroes until, at least later on.
yeah. All right. Well, since we're about to get started, I'm gonna run through Tupuck Shaker and introduce our players. We have Return the Slab on Lifestealer. John Nykus on the Leshrac. We have Slain Valkyria on Templar Assassin. FFFXC2 on Darkseer. And Syrup on the Rubik.
Nice. We have Sap on the Spectre. We have Sunfire Storm on the Magnus. We have John Wayne Gacy on the Bane. Jojo on the Venomancer, and and the Strategist on Warlock. Obviously, all part of Team Hold Me Closer Venomancer.
Yep. So,
And I think it's fitting that they have a Venomancer on their team.
yeah, it is very fitting, isn't it? So I'm glad we'll get to see their namesake actually playing. So right now it looks like 4 of Tupuck Shaker's heroes are just kind of around this pole camp looking to
And
get
it
it
looks like
blocked there.
they may want to try to go in on someone. They see a Spectre there,
Yeah.
but it looks like they're just there to do their warding and get
Yeah,
out.
there it goes. Yeah, they're leaving. So that Templar assassin is gonna head mid. Looks like the Rubik's just going to escort her a little bit of the ways. So
It looks like it's going to be 2 tri-lanes against each other bottom. We have a Spectre Venomancer and Bane tri-lane against
Yeah.
a Rubik Leshrac and a Lifestealer tri-lane. Obviously, the Lifestealer tri-lane being the offensive one, they're going to want to get the kills, whereas the
yeah,
Spectre tri-lane is going to be defensive in that they're going to try to make sure that Spectre
gets
won't
his.
be killed.
Yeah, they want to make sure that she's farming as much as possible. And while this is going to cut down a little bit on Lifestealer's farm, if Tupuck Shaker can pull this off the right way, they can really, really hurt the early game for the Spectre and make it take a lot longer for her to come online. So this is going to be a real interesting setup to go against because honestly, or to watch. Pardon me, because I'm kind of feeling, especially with the combo you were mentioning, I think that in the early game at least, the Tupuck Shaker's tri-lane might actually do a little bit better. Maybe. I mean, I'm just
Well, no, I absolutely agree.
yeah,
Currently, right now, they have their pole camps blocked. Hold Me Closer Venomancer has their pole camps blocked.
yeah,
And they didn't bring any Sentry Wars to lane, which means that they won't be able to pull for, if they don't fix it for the next 6 minutes.
yeah. So I mean, that's gonna really, really
means-
hurt them.
Although, to be fair, like an offensive tri-lane versus a defensive tri-lane, there isn't a lot of action going to happen, and so a lot of the experience gained is going to be from killing people.
Yeah, that's very true. Yeah, just quickly looking at the other lanes, I want to get back to that one, but we actually did have Warlock going mid against this Templar assassin, and it looks like he was getting harassed a little bit, so he is healing himself up, but I'm sure he's just here to mostly deny her. Sorry, there is something going on bottom, actually. It looks like Bane might go down, and he does, actually. It's
And
first
he
blood
does, yep.
going to the Lifestealer.
Possibly even second blood.
Yeah,
Okay.
barely missed stun there by
Barely
the
missed
Leshrac,
Spectre,
so...
yeah.
But yeah, that was it looked like they just caught the Bane out of position because he was kind of going up and around the back of them trying to get a little bit of harass using his brain sap, but they picked him out right away and made sure to punish him for that and make him think twice about doing it again. So yeah, it looks like now he's going to take the safer route and just stay off on this side entrance here into the jungle. So I think that's a good move for him. But yeah, and then going back just to check out the other lanes, we got Magnus going up against this Darkseer, and right now Magnus is a bit low on, or is very low on mana, I guess. So We're not going to see too much harass coming out from him, but he doesn't necessarily have to. While the Darkseer does have a decent amount of mana right now. And Warlock got the Invis rune mid, so I think he's rushing a bottle.
Looks like they're going on Bane again.
Oh,
Bottom.
wow. Yeah, they are.
Dead Lifestealer trying to do something. We have those multiple combo stuns going off, and Bane goes down again. It's just sad to see that.
Oh, and then just another missed split earth there.
Yeah,
they could have taken out
barely.
that Spectre. Yeah. I mean, they've been doing, I mean, even with those few missed split earths coming out from the Leshrac, they've been doing a spectacular job of catching out Hold Me Closer Venomancer. Oh, wait, is there something happening mid? No. They were chasing. But, yeah, it's just, they've been doing a great job of picking out that Bane, but the problem, I think, what they're going to need to do now is try to pick out the Spectre. So that's going to probably be their. I mean, you know, they're getting the kills where they need them. They got the first blood, and especially they got it on that Lifestealer. So that's going to help bring his farm up, especially since they are doing this offensive tri-lane, which, I mean, it's not going badly for them. So I'm not surprised necessarily, but it's just going so well that now I don't really think that the Lifestealer does need to worry about getting his farm up necessarily.
Not at all.
So, yeah, and these pull camps are still blocked. I mean, there's only a minute left on both of these wards, and it's 2 minutes on the one over here, and I think a minute 48 on the one that's actually blocking the pull camp. But it's really unfortunate because that's something that could be rectified really easily. Actually, I think there's a little bit of harass going on mid, but not too much. But yeah, that's something that could be rectified very easily by just
and
the
it
use
looks
of.
like Spectre may go down. She
she
just
does.
got. Oh, yep. This is looking very, very bad for our good friends. Hold Me Closer Venomancer.
Yeah.
Looks like Tupuck Shaker are just dominating this tri-lane.
Yeah,
bottom.
I mean, this was an excellent decision for them because really they do have the stronger tri-lane in this early game because
And honestly, like, there's very little that Spectre can do, not being like a ranged hero. Like, she just can't farm necessary because she gets up close. Rubik's gonna lift her, throw her down, and she's gonna die again.
Yeah, and that's really the issue is that I don't think there's enough lockdown right now on this lane.
And
so.
finally, 5 minutes into the game, Bane decides to buy Sentry Wards. Good for him.
I mean, you know what? At this point, I think it's the time because he is only level 1, and he would be the only person who would have a lockdown on their team.
Yeah, and he'd be able to help this situation, but unfortunately.
Well, it looks like the Darkseer is actually might get a pick off on the Magnus top. He's just chasing him with his Ion Shell up, and he actually gets him.
And he gets him.
Yeah, he dove under that tower, and Magnus tried to skewer him back, but it didn't really, it didn't bother the Darkseer. He just kept on chasing him, so great job on him. It was a nice pickup for him in that top lane, so that'll delay Magnus's blink, so that'll be great. But yeah, back on this tri-lane. I want to watch this tri-lane on tri-lane because there is a lot happening down here, so.
I mean, unfortunately, they haven't even Oh, they finally did upgrade Courier, so now they're going to be able to get those wards quicker. But the thing is, it's a little too late, honestly, because it's already dead. The ward is already dead.
Yeah.
There's no need to deward that at this point. But we do see a Magnus going bottom.
And his RP is up,
to get some sort of a kill. Spectre does shoot her Spectral Dagger. But to no avail, no change here.
Yeah.
And honestly, they knew that Magnus was there because of that ward that they had placed. So there was no danger to them at all. Yeah,
I mean, they backed up at just the right time. They saw him coming, and they were like, we're not going to even chance this right now. So, and that did force him to have to back off and actually come mid. And it looks like they might try to go on the TA who's here and is about to go check for the rune, I believe. Or no, she's actually checking for that Magnus.
And she sees him.
Yeah. There's a slow coming out on him, and the Leshrac's coming, probably just to try and help support. Actually, Bane.
And Bane goes in, and they're both able to get out just fine. That was certainly a close one. That could have ended very badly.
Yeah, because especially with that Warlock is still there, and then that Bane popping in. Unfortunately, Bane is only level 2, since he hasn't been able to make the most of that pull camp for the first 6 minutes of the game. He had to sit and watch in the side, in the little side area where he is right now. He was sitting and not able to take any experience. So, he is very,
Although
very
to
behind right
be
now.
fair, he's 3 levels behind.
No,
Give or take.
yeah, it's very,
Um,
yeah, I mean, it's not something that can't be rectified, but at the same time, it is delaying that ult, which for this lane right now could be really key to stopping another gank coming in on that Spectre. So,
yeah, I mean, I think Bane being lower level right now is kind of like tragic to a certain extent. But then
yeah.
again,
Oh, and it looks like that
Magnus
they're
and
actually going to go in
Warlock are
on,
both level 6
yeah.
or above level 6, so they do have the ability to be
Yeah,
able to team fight.
it's just the only problem is that they are kind of the Warlock and the Magnus are kind of staying in their lanes. I mean, Magnus obviously came down to the bottom to try and help, but he had to back off because Tupuck Shaker did have the
Yep.
vision over here. So
It looks like for
yeah,
our bottom now.
they're a
They're
lot
going
bottom.
to set up something soon.
Yeah.
You can see it happening. They're trying to get into position. The Tupuck Shaker does have a ward, so they're able to see all the movements of a Spectre and Venomancer behind the tower, and they will be able to see anyone TP in. So, yeah, it's gonna happen, and it's gonna happen soon.
Yeah, I mean, we just have that TA just sitting and waiting for the perfect opportunity. And I mean, obviously, you can tell that Hold Me Closer does kind of know, does know that something's up. They know that there are people waiting in the sides. I don't think they necessarily know who, besides
Yep.
the Rubik, obviously. But oh
But
yeah,
I
there is
think
an
Bane,
initiation
yep,
coming in
Bane
on
just
the.
saw the TA.
Yep,
It looks like
great pick
yep,
off there.
Tia's going to come in and get the Venomancer.
And
They
now
know
this
that
Spectre is
Spectre's
into
behind
trouble.
there, and she is in a lot of trouble.
Oh yeah,
Um,
she's
yeah,
down. She's gonna go
and
down.
they know exactly where she is, and they'll be able to take her down.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Bane is just running out. I mean, there's basically nothing he can do. He's level 2. Like, he has no
Exactly.
skills to actually help in that situation.
Yeah. I mean, that is the one thing you kind of risk when you do put a Bane in the tri lane, is that because he does generally serve as that pulling support. But if you do have that, sorry.
Yeah, no, and I agree with you. And honestly, like, where is the Magnus and where is the Warlock? Like, how much farm do they need to be effective? Not a lot. And
Yeah.
Warlock buys a power treads, which I mean are respectable, but like, is he going to be the carry? Is he going to be doing a lot of right click damage?
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know.
I'll say he probably wants to be a little more survivable, but at the same time, what you could just do for that is skip on the rest of the levels in upheaval and throw those into your stats. Because honestly, you're not going to need more than one level in upheaval, which he has. So, I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, you kind of have to consider were those treads worth it. And I mean, they may be. Maybe he'll prove us wrong, and the survivability he gains from those will actually be really helpful in a team fight, but I just don't know.
And it looks like Spectre just went top.
Yes.
But Darkseer is also top, level 9.
Yeah, and he's also invisible
so-
right now, so
Yeah,
waiting
he
to do
has
something.
The Invis rune. He's actually just purchased his mechanism.
Yeah.
Basically, what needs to happen is Spectre needs to get a level 6, so she can get out of there.
Yeah.
Because right now she's just going to take a lot of damage from... Okay, she's able to get out. Good for
Yeah,
her.
that dagger slowed the Darkseer's movement speed
Yeah,
enough.
just
So,
enough.
but yeah, I mean,
But
just
honestly, she needs level 6 or else she's not going to have an escape mechanism at all.
yeah, I mean, she can't. She obviously can't use this bottom lane anymore because this offensive tri lane's still here and still pushing it forward. Like, and now they're actually going to dive the tower on top of the Venomancer. There's a skewer in. Rubik tries to steal. Nothing coming of that. There is an ult coming down from the Warlock. And it is going to take down the Leshrac. The Warlock does get picked up, and I think that the Rubik's going to make it out. But yeah, unfortunately, there's the TA,
But
and she's
we
in a
do
bad
have
situation.
a life stealer in one of the creeps that is currently chasing TA.
Yes.
So life stealer could theoretically jump out and kill them all.
Well, I think now, I don't think any of them know. It's just running back right now, and I think the second it hits the lane, he's going to pop out and get out scot-free.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, I mean, that was
Um,
a great jump for him, and honestly, it's unfortunate because if HMCV had known about that, then they could have gotten a very needed kill on the Lifestealer. So,
Now, to be fair, during that team fight, I'd be willing to bet that Magnus had complete intention to use reverse polarity.
yes.
But he misjudged his mana when he used skewer, and I think kind of messed that up.
Yeah,
Um,
that's what it seemed like. Because with that skewer, it was a really great skewer, and then nothing happened. And I agree. I think he was planning on using that RP, which would have been
yeah,
amazing, but it just didn't happen.
and
So
that would have set up everything just, perfectly fine. It's
yeah.
unfortunate that that didn't work. It looks like TA with a haste rune is coming bottom, gonna
Oh
try to get this
yeah.
Bane.
And I mean, she actually looks like she's
Um,
gonna be able to with that dive. Yep.
yeah, it's gonna be close. Nope.
Yeah.
Okay, he definitely got him.
Yeah.
We have a Darks here. Basically, they're playing completely behind the towers of their opponents. Like,
Yeah.
they can dive just fine, no worries. I mean, 13 minutes in, we have a 1-8 currently.
Yeah, I mean and honestly, this is what Tupuck Shaker really needed to be doing. And now they are going to actually try to pick off this Warlock, and I think it's going to happen. There is an RP coming in. It does catch almost the
But there's
entirety of the
nothing to
team,
follow
but yeah,
up.
nothing to follow up. So that Magnus is just going to die. Bane
L-
actually brain snapping a little bit, but just kind of doing a little bit of damage. So not too much
Um,
happening.
really well played on the Rubik's part, or I mean on the Magnus's part. He was able to block Rubik from stealing
Yeah,
reverse polarity, and instead gave him power instead,
yeah.
which is I guess kind of useless on Rubik.
Well, I mean, now he can empower that Life
Oh, the
Stealer,
life
who's
stealer,
got
yeah.
his Armlet of Merdigian now. So that could be really helpful.
Yeah, he's going to be just that much harder to kill.
Yeah. Um, but I mean, that still was a great move on the Magnus's part. So, because I mean, I'd rather if I were the Magnus, I'd rather have Rubik have an Empower than have my RP. So,
Absolutely.
but yeah, now it just looks like Tupuck Shaker is just watching over their carry as he farms up those ancients, and Spectre desperately looking for farm right now in the mid. She's very, very behind. It seems. Checking really quickly. Yeah, she's hurting right now. So we're probably just going to see her trying to find places to safely farm, which unfortunately are very few places at the moment. Maybe bottom, where the creeps are kind of pushed back right now, but the second they farm that, it's going to push up. So
Yeah, and even that, we have a ward placed by Dire, by uh, Tupuck Shaker on the vision spot down there. So
yeah.
there's like there's very little options that they have besides maybe farming top. Um,
Yeah, and it looks like there's actually a Roshan attempt going right now, and it definitely looks like it's actually going to get taken by Tupuck Shaker, most likely put on top of that Life Stealer. So that's just going to make him even that much harder to kill. So yeah, and it goes on the Life Stealer. So just uncontested, especially because there is no vision up from the Radiant on that Roshan. So yeah, it just seems like that the HMCV is just kind of having trouble with this really aggressive strategy that Tupuck Shaker has gone with to really kind of counter that Spectre who needs the farm up on her. I mean, they didn't really let her have the space, and that's what they should have done. But unfortunately, now that is making HMCV's carry really hurt. And I mean, I still think that they can win in a team fight, but is that going to be enough?
is that team fight is going to be enough? Good point. I think this honestly stems back all the way to the very beginning when.
Oh, and we
Um,
actually are going to see a pickup
oh
on the
wow!
Bane from
And
the
we do
TA right
see
now.
Bane go down, and possibly even Warlock go down. No, Warlock's
No.
not going down though. But and Bane, the one guy to have sentry wards, is dead, so they have no way of being able to
Yeah.
go on TA at all.
Yeah, and now thankfully her team is here to support her and come help her. Make sure she
Yeah.
can get out. So
I mean, what I was saying earlier, I think this stems all the way back to the very beginning when
yeah,
they didn't sentry ward their camp
yeah,
to be able to pull, because that kind of screwed up Bane and his leveling. That screwed up Venomancer and his leveling. And honestly,
Yeah.
like if you pull the camp and allow you know yourself to get experience and stuff, like that also kind of distracts the enemy supports to be able to do something.
Yeah, and it keeps them from
And it
harassing.
keeps them from harassing your carry, and there's a lot of different benefits from that. Um, but anyway, as we see, something is probably going to go down mid.
Oh yeah.
That it,
There goes the life stealer inside of the TA, so we can expect to see her try to blink in and let him come out. Probably when a good stun gets landed by that
yeah,
Lishrak. Yeah.
either that or an ult and stuff. I think they may wait for an initiation.
Oh,
Oh,
here it
no,
goes.
yeah,
They
they're
are
coming
going
in.
down on that
Yep.
Warlock. There
And
goes
they
the
take
wall
Warlock
up.
out first to make
Um,
sure. Oh, and we
yeah,
also
Mag
have
grabs
a
too.
reverse polarity happen. It looks like a stun happens too. Doesn't get anyone. But the entire Radiant team just doesn't have enough damage to actually do anything against them. TA falls. But I mean, with Warlock gone, his ult is gone. Like, there's nothing they
Yeah.
can do. It looks like Magnus is about to fall. Yep, Magnus falls to
The Rubik.
Rubik. It looks like.
And now they're
Um,
going to get this mid tower.
And now they're going to be able to get this mid tower almost scot-free. Oh,
Yeah.
whoa.
It did cost an
Oh.
Aegis, unfortunately. I think
Well,
there was a
yeah.
missed toggle on
Yeah, I
Life
think it was
Stealer's
a
part,
missed toggle
so.
when something hit him, I think. Or maybe it was poison or something, I don't know. But,
Yeah.
hey, at least they took out the Aegis in that particular instance.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, does Lifestealer really need an Aegis at this point?
Yeah. I mean, he was able to get out of that team fight, you know, completely and able to even go back and just get that last hit on the tower, like, no problem. So, I mean, he's definitely not hurting without the Aegis, though. I mean, that basically just saved him some lost gold. So, and now he's able to go and continue farming at full health. He doesn't have to go back. So, that's honestly
Yeah.
almost a plus for the Lifestealer to lose that Aegis in that situation. So, it got him through the team fight and got him a tower and put him at full health to go keep on farming and pushing. So, it's weird saying that an Aegis would be better than not, or losing the Aegis would be better than not losing it. But I think it was in that situation. So,
Yeah, I mean, this way it's not wasted.
yeah,
And, I mean, you only have it for 6 minutes anyway.
it's
So,
very true.
being able to revive instantly where you are and being, getting to full health like that, super helpful. If we just look at the experience graph real quick, we
Yeah.
see that there's a 10,000 experience difference in favor of the Dire.
Oh yeah,
And gold-wise, there's a 15,000 difference in gold earned towards the Dire. So
oh yeah.
they
I mean,
have this game unless something crazy happens.
yeah. I mean,
but
I mean, there's still the potential to have, if Mag and Warlock can land their ultimates and make them count, and especially if Spectre can combo that with her Haunt, I do still think that it's not necessarily fully decided yet. It's just that we haven't seen the potential for that. We haven't seen the coordination coming out, and we haven't seen, like, what's about to happen right now is the
Magnus may
heroes
go
getting
down.
picked off, and it looks
But
like he is going
there's
to go
no
down.
one there.
And
Why
then
did you do that?
RP actually gets stolen by the Rubik as well. So,
I think that was a poor move on Magnus. I felt like he should have just gotten out when he could.
Yeah.
He would have been able to skewer, I believe, almost all the way back to base. But now this basically cripples his entire team. They don't have, they don't have reverse polarity, and the fact that Rubik stole reverse polarity.
yeah, and there's
So,
also,
like, they're
yeah,
not
ult
gonna
comes
be able to
down.
initiate on this at all.
Nope. And they're actually going to lose their Rubik in the process. They are going to lose their
Well,
Venomancer
they're
as well.
Warlock, yes. Rubik is still alive.
Oh, sorry, they're Warlock. I was
Yeah.
thinking
With
about something
reverse
else. So,
polarity. He is being chased by the golem, and
And
he is
he's
getting affected
about to die.
by-
Yep.
Oh, no, he does die, actually. Oh,
yeah.
not being able to use that reverse polarity. But does it really matter? No, because three of 8 Hold Me Closer Venomancer are
Down. Yeah. So that's just really, I mean, I think unfortunately, I think that overextension by Magnus just lost them this top tower. I mean, he's trying to harass Tupuck Shaker as much as he can, but yeah, and then the GGs are just coming out.
yeah.
And that's unfortunate, just because I know that we could have probably seen some great team fight coming out from Hold Me Closer, but it just seems, because I've seen them play together before, and they normally execute very very well, but it just seemed like something was off with their play. So I don't know, because like right now during that little skirmish it was like fine, but I don't know. It's
mean,
unfortunate.
Honestly, Hold Me Closer Venomancer, I think they fell victim to one of the classic blunders. I mean, the most famous, never get involved in a land war in Asia, but only slightly less known is never go against the other team solo when your other team isn't there to back you up, which
Yeah.
is what Magnus did, and kind of solidified that whole ending team fight. That probably, well, that from conjecture may have actually gone towards Hold Me Closer Venomancer.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, I think unfortunately that was probably just a little bit of miscommunication, and him wanting to try and stop that push, but not being able to do so alone. So, I mean, it was still great play by both teams. It was a valiant effort from Hold Me Closer, but it was really that offensive tri lane and their very well placed sentry wards in the beginning of the game, as well as just some I can't think of the word now. This, them taking advantage of the overpositioning that
Yeah,
HMCV
and
was
the
doing.
better
So
positioning that they had, definitely.
exactly. So yeah, this has been a game for the Reddit Dota 2 League between HMCV and Tupuck Shaker, and this is I'm a Bear with
And this is Zig.
yeah, and we'd like to thank you for joining.